You know, it was 1 year ago with great fanfare, I might add. The Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act of 2010 was signed into law, right? But a year later, so wait a minute, why is the banking system now at higher risk than it was then? You know, that's what Republican Congressman Sean Duffy is asking in today's op-ed in the Washington Times. And let's ask him now. Representative Duffy, I read the article. I mean, I don't want to tip my cards here, but why is it? How could we be more at risk today than a year ago when we were, just getting out of the toy?
Well, I mean, I think the deal is this. The rules that are trying to be implemented from Dodd-Frank aren't making our system more sound and more safe. And I have a bill on the floor today that is actually trying to reform the way the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau works, one of the key components of Dodd-Frank. And I just came over here off the floor, and you would be amazed at the resistance that we're getting from the other side just to include some accountability, to include voices not just on the Wall Street side, but also on the community banker side and credit union side.
Well, I mean, in fact, the committee to run this Dodd-Frank thing would all be unelected bureaucrats, right? So first off, we've already ceded that. Secondarily, they say that we're never going to help anybody, and there's going to be no bailout, but yet we're bailing out Fannie and Freddie another $150 billion. So this really is an absurd, I don't know, like kimono act, where we're pretending this way, like kabuki theater, but it's not working.
It's not working, and I mean the bill is so large and so oppressive. One of the problems that our banks are facing is they don't add new regulation and take old ones away. What they do here is they just add more regulation onto the regulation that already existed. And what happens is it makes it more difficult for our banks to make loans. They take people off the floor and put them on compliance duty. And what it does is it increases the cost of lending. It makes it harder to get loans out to people who actually need them. We're trying to streamline this process. I mean, one key component for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is they've set it up with a director with a lot of power. Well, we just say, listen, I mean, let's not include all this power in a one directorship. Let's have a bipartisan commission of 5 people. Let's have them run this agency that has so much power, so we have some balance.
Well, but wait a minute.
This is an agency that... go ahead.
Yeah, but we like to have czars, Congressman. This is a czar, right? I'm confused by almost everything from it. But I guess the one part that they were going to do was they were going to actually get rid of this whole derivatives mess, right? And make it so we would never again have to write a $70 billion check for unknown derivatives that cover unknown banks. And now as I go through the bill, unless I can't read, they actually are implicitly guaranteeing derivatives, which was the exact opposite of what they were trying to do.
You're absolutely right. And I think what happens is when you try to ram through this much regulation, this 400 rulemakings in this Dodd-Frank bill, you're bound to make mistakes and big mistakes. And I think all of us would say, listen, with the financial crisis that happened a couple years ago, there are lessons to be learned. And from those lessons, we should modify the way we do business. But I think what's happened here is they've taken the opportunity of a crisis to ram through far more regulation that isn't actually going to help the end consumer and help jumpstart our economy and start putting our people back to work.
Right. You
All
know
it does is give us more regulation.
Yeah, you're right. You know that, number one, the almost entire problem was way too much leverage, and they didn't do anything about the leverage. Number two, you look at less than perfect credit scores today in the United States and look at their cost of borrowing or their availability of credit, and now it's down 25%. Now, maybe there's people we shouldn't have lent money to, and I can understand that. But for people who don't have a perfect FICO score because of the cost and ambiguity in this thing, their interest rates have gone up. Some people are paying 25% on their Visa card, and where they were paying 12% before. Is that an improvement?
And I think all of us would agree, no, it is not. And it's just another sign that these kind of reforms that are ran through, that are so expansive, don't actually accomplish the end goal. And one of the issues that we have, we continually hear about uncertainty in the marketplace. Well, in the financial sector, there is so much uncertainty because not nearly all the rules are written. So for years to come, we're going to be wondering what kind of oppressive regulation is going to come from Washington. And with that...
Yeah, I appreciate your time. I'm going to cut you there because I'll tell you right now, only 50 out of the 300 rules have actually come yet, and I think it's been time, right?
out of 400. So you know what? We're doing our work to make sure we streamline this approach and make it work for the American people.
All right. Well, you're a great American. I appreciate it. Look, Dodd-Frank law was created